Today I will be talking about my high school experience, and as such I decided to show some gameplay on this game for free. It is currently still in its demo beta phase, so it's not a full game, but nevertheless, this is something for my viewers to enjoy or to listen, and as such let's get right into it. So for me, high school was a very, I suppose, mediocre but yet refreshing kind of semester, especially during the senior year. And the reason why I'm going to be talking about senior year a lot is because a lot of stuff happened, and towards the end, after you graduate from high school, you get the diploma. So for me, senior year was really special because lots of things happened. Let's start off with the first one. Let me see. That would be the AP class. So yes, and then sorry. During my senior year, I decided to take an AP class because I thought, it was something that I've never done before. I never really saw myself as being academically smart, and as such, I just decided to take an AP European history class. But originally, I was supposed to take a AP US history, but since I kind of knew some of my friends already, going to AP Euro, I was kind of too shy to drop. But yeah, originally I was supposed to take AP US history, but as such I took AP Euro, and it was pretty interesting. I learned a lot about the European history, but I felt like some of it was already covered in US history, because in US history, although it's biased because it's coming from the United States itself, it does mention the historical information regarding other countries too, so that was pretty cool. But during that class, there was a lot of reading. I mean, we had supplements in which you would have to read a bunch of text and passages, and that's kind of expected from a history class. But being AP, being advanced placement, that pretty much means essentially a college course offered in high school. There's definitely high expectations for me, and I passed with a C, but due to the AP rules, I was actually given a B. So essentially, for the AP courses, your grade is bumped up by 1, because I suppose you get a +1 for even trying to do this in the first place. I could have just took in all regular classes, but the fact that I decided to take an AP class was definitely something that I thought I would never do. And actually, there were no prerequisites to get in. You would just have to sign up, and so first come first serve in that aspect.
Is someone there?
Also, since my grades were not really improving due to me kind of having my own habits and whatnot, I was actually given a tutor for the first time, and me and my tutor, we became kind of like good, like student-tutor relationship. I don't really know much about it, to be honest. She helped me when I needed help, and sometimes we would Skype call my apartment, to ask for help for geometry or algebra 2 questions. And yeah, she was very helpful, but nevertheless, I know that they can only do so much. Ultimately, it's up to me to, put in the effort to get the grade that the teacher thinks I deserve, not the other way around, because if it was the other way around, I'd be a bit more biased in that aspect. Also, let's talk about let me see what else I can talk about. So let's talk about college too, since we're kind of leaning towards that subject here. So for me, in high school, I wanted to actually go to Cal State LA after I graduated from high school, and the reason being was because it was extremely easy to get into, and it wasn't too far away. I just thought that, and also it was kind of overhyped too, because everyone that I kind of knew that were not really good in academics, they kind of said, I'll go to community college and eventually I'll transfer to Cal State LA, because I suppose everyone goes there now because it has such a high acceptance rate of around 66%. So that's pretty good actually for a community college. I'm sorry, for a 4-year Cal State. What else? Okay, so back to the college thing there. And sorry for kind of wandering on and off. This is sort of a just a reflection, because high school, I graduated 2 years ago, heading to 3 years now. So some of the stuff that I've been mentioned is kind of vague, and I would like to go in depth, but due to the time constraint of this video, I'm just gonna try to memorize as much as I can within the given time span. So anyways, back to college here. So in college, I was supposed to go to Cal State LA, but due to my GPA being really bad, I couldn't get in. They pretty much denied me on my first time, but I'm hoping that after this semester and after the summer when I transfer, hopefully they will accept me with open arms, because I felt like in community college I definitely redeemed myself. But that will be for another video. So as usual, I remember during the typical CSU process in which you would have to write personal statements, you would have to send in your
Please try to make it to
transcripts from
class
high
on
school,
time. Take your seat.
and you would have to take the SAT too, just so you can kind of improve. So let's say if you had a really bad GPA, but you had a really good SAT scores, they might kind of overlook your GPA for your SAT, because the SATs and the ACTs are standardized tests here in the States, and they're definitely sort of critical thinking, mathematics, and writing. So they're sort of, I guess, in a sense, IQ test, because within a certain amount of time span for each section, you would be given, let's say, 30 minutes to an hour to see how well you do under pressure. However, for the SAT and for the ACT, those are only for around a day though. That's pretty much how much you can memorize and how much you can retain and how well you can do within one day. That doesn't count for the whole year. So for me, I thought it was really important because my GPA was really bad, so I thought that they would kind of pity me and look over my SAT scores. But actually, my SAT scores were even worse than my GPA, or they're around that level too. So as such, I had no chance of getting into CalCLA. And I wish that my high school counselor would have told me this earlier. I wish it would have been more upfront, but I felt like, graduating from high school and going to college, the fact that, if you tell someone that they can't make it into college, they may kind of put them down for the whole year, and as such, they might not even get a diploma. So I think towards the end, she kind of noticed, and I kind of noticed that, CalCLA wasn't where I was going to be because I didn't have the grades and skills to back it up, essentially. And so as such, I think during the final weeks leading up to the finals, I applied for PGC, but then I went to ELAC because ELAC was closer. So as such, I had to start from the bottom all over again. What I was going to talk about here. So my friends in general too, the reason why I kind of enjoyed high school is because I got to hang out with my friends from middle school. It was pretty cool. I actually made another group of friends too, and these group of friends were sort of the jokesters, sort of the pranksters that like to, talk about memes and jokes and whatnot, but they had the grades to back it up. So as such, at first I didn't really take them seriously because of their personality and demeanor, but I knew that once they were serious, they performed so well that they got into their dream colleges like right on the spot. And as for me, I was sort of more serious, but I felt that maybe my study habits were not the best, and that's why I maybe got 2.0 instead of 3.0s. That's why maybe I didn't get in the first place, was because maybe I didn't have the confidence and maybe even the arrogance to back up my GPA, because I think for them, I'm going to assume that because they had such good GPAs that they can kind of mess around a bit, because I suppose they deserve it, from high school, because high school is extremely stressful, Even if you're taking regular classes, the fact that you're showing up 5 times a day, or 5 times a week, sorry, and it just repeats over and over and over again, eventually you get sick of it. And going through high school for 4 fucking years, I mean, it really takes a toll on your mind. But also, high school is extremely restrictive too. There's a bunch of rules they have to follow. I consider high school and middle school to be like jails because you have literally no freedom, and freedom you do have is sort of monitored and restricted by the authorities and higher ups of the school boards and districts and etc. etc. But overall, I did have a good experience, especially during the final days, I suppose, of senior year, because during those final days, we went to Disneyland and things, so that was extremely cool. And I remember a lot of people getting back at like 3 or 4 in the morning because some people didn't want to leave, so that was pretty cool. But the fact that you got to, bond with your friends and such, I think was what really, really helped high school, was really what helped make high school bearable, was the fact that, towards the end, we would all be rewarded with the diploma and obviously a trip to Disneyland, and that's probably, the best gift that I can sort of, receive, I suppose. But as such, it was mediocre, not much to talk about. I did try a few things here and there, but for the most part, it was just the same old stuff. The rewards definitely helped through all this pressure and whatnot. And by the way, for those of you that are going to be seniors, or for those of you that are going to be in high school, the next coming years, I suggest that you really cherish your moments with your friends, because after high school, everyone goes in different directions, and you may not be able to form the bond as strongly as you once were in high school or even in middle school. With that being said, bye.